Welcome back to Beauty, Business, and Mind podcast. This is Celeste. So excited to have you here today. I did want to start today first saying happy 2023. We are going to start doing a video podcast. So if you want to watch the video, you can go ahead and go to Spotify. I'm actually going to start uploading them on YouTube so you can actually see them me on real time. And the audio portion, of course, is in your preferred Google or any type of podcast platform that you love listening to. Reviews. So I just had an amazing 15-minute call with one of you, my followers, and you're talking to me about like, oh my gosh, Celeste, I can't leave a review. How can I leave you a review? So you can actually go to Google, you can spell out Celeste the Stylist, and you can leave me a Google review on there about the podcast. I would love that. I will respond to every single Google review I always get, so feel free to leave me a review on that. I would truly appreciate it, and appreciate you for listening to my podcast, whether you agree or disagree. It's beautiful to have you a part of this community. I truly, truly appreciate you. So in today's episode, I really wanted to talk with all this, like, it's a new year, it's 2023. And if you don't know, most people will stop doing their New Year's resolution by February. And it's already January 23rd today. And with the new year, there's so much push, right? On like New Year's goals and get this done and the pressure. I actually just started exercising on January 7th. I was like, I'm going to start exercising. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I haven't posted it on social. And it has been feeling really good just to be back in the rhythm of just moving my body around. And I wanted to do this episode because we have goals, and goals are beautiful. They are awesome tools to help us grow and keep consistent. But sometimes we don't reach the goals when we have a deadline, right? For many of us, you start with a goal and you have a deadline and you don't meet it. And sometimes we can feel like a failure. Like I have felt like a failure before. I have this big goal and I try to do it and it doesn't happen. And I feel like a loser, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I tried and I didn't do it. So today I want to talk about the power of not only video, but consistency. I have been using video since I was in beauty school. That was back in 2016. It has changed my life. It has changed my business. But video is not a thing that everybody wants to do, nor do you have to. I know people with very successful businesses, multiple six-figure businesses. I'm a co-owner of one of them, and they don't do a lot of video at all. And so they're very successful. And so today I really wanted to talk about the power of consistency versus just video, because nobody's really talking about this. And although I'm a person that loves to do video, I love to do audio, that's not the case for everybody. And you can still be successful if you are consistent. So we're going to talk about the power of consistency, and we'll also touch in the little points about video. So first, let's start with video. So video can be very intimidating. Some people do not like to show up. If you're watching me today live, you can see on the video podcast that I have a pimple on my face, and it's not very cute. I feel like I'm 15 again, but I'm showing up here with you live from my house in my living room. Being on video can be a lot. So there's different ways you can show up on video without showing your face. You can literally show up with your hands doing something. Don't even show your face. I'm literally taking my ring off right now and just showcase and talk about something without showing your face. But people can put your hands and the audio of your voice together. That's a way that you can show up consistently on video. Also, another way that I love to show up on video is just showing tutorials. Maybe it has nothing to do with my face, just recording the process from beginning to end, before and after. There, you have a video. Also, I love sharing when your clients, a lot of our clients are on social. Some of them, I know for me, I do have a couple of influencer clients, so they love creating videos. They are very talented with their videos, and I will often ask them if they can share it and tag me, and I will ask them if it's okay if I repurpose it. They, of course, they say most of the time yes, and I'm able to recreate with those videos a reel or something new. But I'm here to tell you that you do not only need to do reels. Like, that is such a huge misconception. I know it's very unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna tell you why doing solely reels is like the worst thing that you can do. Reels are really effective, and even TikTok, it has to be under 8 seconds, okay? And yes, I can do lots of cool things we can do under 8 seconds, but the problem is if we are teaching our clientele or our audience to only pay attention for 8 seconds, we're not going to be able to educate them truly and build up that connection that we need to, that is longer, it's going to take longer than 8 seconds. And that may be a huge unpopular opinion, but I have been doing lives since 2018, and I have been consistent on lives since 2020. March 2020, when we got all shut down, I lived in California. We had like the worst shutdown of the U.S., especially in the county that I live, because we had like the worst amount of cases around here, and I had nothing to do. So I became very consistent with video and going live. And what I've learned is that it really helps you to build that relationship doing those lives. So I would encourage you to do lives. I still do lives today, but instead of doing 10, 15, 20-minute lives, I keep them under the 10-minute mark. Is very important to me because I also know people have things to do. I want to go straight to the point. So video can be very powerful. It also helps you as an educator. So if you want to become an educator in the beauty industry, or you are an educator, being able to be on video, you get more comfortable with the power of using your voice, using, seeing yourself on video, getting more comfortable with getting direct to the point. It's great for practice as well. So it has been an amazing tool that has also helped me build confidence, and it can help you build confidence in showing your face and showing your personality, showcasing who you truly authentically are with the lives. Like, I know sometimes we get scared because we're like, what if we have a call come in? Hot tip, put it on airplane mode. When you go live, put it on airplane mode. What if my phone dies? My phone used to die all the time. Now I charge it, and now we're before I go live. So those are just simple tips that you can utilize to go live. And the beautiful thing about live that nobody tells you is that when you go live on Instagram or Facebook, you're able to connect in a real time and real level. There's a beauty that when you go live, you can be authentic and you can mess up. People expect that. It's not scripted. You can't edit the video. Like, you really are who you are, and things are going to happen. There has been some live videos where my family comes in and they interrupt in the middle of it, or they're making noise. Today I had somebody banging across the apartment next to me because they're replacing their floor. So these are things that can happen and will happen, but it's not the end of it all. So I really encourage you to really try doing more live video. It's so important to do. And it has really helped me grow my business more than doing reels or short form video. It has been really the power of intent of showing up and doing the videos. Because even, and if you've done even just one reel or one type of short video, what we show in 5-7 seconds can sometimes take 2 to 8 hours to produce, right? Like when I used to do my full blonding makeovers, where I would do like every single strand of hair had to be inside of a foil. Those were like 7 to 8 hour days, and showing them in a couple of seconds. Yes, it was satisfying for me, but I knew how much work it took behind the scenes. So utilize the power of live video over reels. I really feel that's not this or that. It's not about right or wrong. It's the connection that you're able to build with live videos. And for me, what has really worked well is mixing both of them up. Mixing short video with long form has been very, very helpful for my business and for me to grow as an educator, and also in my confidence in delivering information to be straight to the point. That was a great, great tool, and I hope it really helps you too. So now let's go to consistency, right? With 2023, we're in January. It's already January 23rd. And the goals, right? And let's get things done. And all this stuff is going up everywhere. Let me put this down. And there's so much pressure right now at this time to like make sure you do everything and you have your goals set for the year and all this stuff. And I wanted to share with you, being very candid with you here, the importance of also like being okay with just being consistent. Last year was a very hard year for me personally, like my personal life, and it was really, really hard sometimes to even go live, right? Because I was just dealing with so many emotions. And so what I chose to do was just to be consistent. Maybe my lives either were shorter, or instead of a live, I would do like a really good informational short-term video or really good post instead. And I just remember to just be consistent, and it really helped me. Being consistent is what opened up the doors to do Pinterest TV. It opened, like Pinterest TV, like they were the ones who reached out to me to be able to do episodes with them. And me just having that open heart and that open mind of like, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to give value or entertainment and just go for it. Really served me well in my life and my business. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. Sometimes we see people winning, we see people doing publications, going on podcasts, doing all these amazing things, but nobody shares the behind the scenes. And today I decided to do this episode on the power, yes, of live videos, not just about reels, so just live videos, a combination of both. But really, like even with my Pinterest formula program, I just released it. Now it's like $50 a month for 3 months, or you can get like the lifetime access for $150 at this time, which will be going up in a couple of months. But it's all about consistency, right? It's about repurposing your content. So one of those things that you can do is, when I mean with recycle your content, or like I call it upcycle your content, is the content that you already have, make it like a shorter version of it and post it on social. That's like an upcycle to me. That's what that means, is to use previous content that you've made. It doesn't matter if it's 5 years old. I actually, if you go to Celeste the Stylist on Instagram, you can see I have a post there where I show you that I used an old picture, and it had like over 250,000 views on Pinterest, and it was an old picture that I posted on there. And that's the power of upcycling. We do not have to be creating content all the time to be consistent. And recycling is literally like not editing, just putting the same content somewhere else, right? And making it relevant. You can make it relevant through your caption, when you're writing your caption. But it's so important for you to be consistent. I know life happens, and it always, like, I was very naive with the sense that people say that we all have the 24 hours a day, which is BS. Total BS, because it's not freaking true. As a mother of 3, and now having babysitter for like over a year, I grew so much last year not having a babysitter, so much. But it took a lot of fucking work, a lot. And it also took a lot of sacrifice on my side personally to make it happen, right? Usually those times that I would use for other things, I had to focus on being consistent and creating content for my business, and taking the time to do the coaching that I do for my clients, and taking education for myself to grow and up level. And it's all about consistency. Life is gonna happen sometimes, and business is gonna happen. Maybe you're like super busy at this time, and you cannot be creating new content. So recycle like your content, upcycle it, like I call it. Like, make a big piece of content and change it up and make it something new. Recycle what you have. Put that same video that you had from 8 years ago, 5 years ago. How can you make it interesting, and to just put it out today that is relevant in a way that's relevant today, 2023, right? And I think it's so important in business and in life that you become consistent. And some of you may agree or disagree with me, but when I got into business, I knew I wasn't going to be behind the chair full time. Like, I knew straight out of the gate. I knew I wanted to be a paid educator. I wanted to get paid for travel. I wanted to do collaboration with brands. And I was able to do all that in the first years of my business. And it was beautiful, and I've done it organically. And all the tips and information I share on here is not just pulled out of my magical hat or things that I think is trending or what somebody said. It's actually from proven things that I've done in my own business that I get coached on, and also other businesses, and from bigger mentors that have super successful businesses that are in it. And consistency is what wins the game. I truly believe that a person who's consistent over the work that they show and the work that they do is most of the time will be more successful And I know it's a very unpopular belief, but I believe somebody who's more consistent will be more successful than somebody who is very talented and is not consistent at all. So consistency is the real biggest key to you winning in 2023, and do it in an authentic way that shows your personality. And I wanted to talk about that, right? How can you be consistent and be authentic? For example, like maybe something really hard's going on with your life, and you're like, man, like something really hard's going on, but how am I going to show up on live, or how am I going to post about something and be authentic at the same time? I took this training, I believe it was like a week now ago or a week and a half ago. And we had a coach on there. She was talking to us about authenticity and, about being real with our audience. And she was talking about vulnerability. And part of that was that we get to be vulnerable and we get to feel the things that we feel as human. And we get to be authentic without sharing every single nitty gritty detail of what's going on in our lives. And I really love that. I wish I would have heard that last year when I needed it. But for some reason, it happened to be this year. And I wanted to share that big piece of takeaway that I took from that class from her, is that you can be authentic and you can be vulnerable without sharing nitty gritty details. You're still being a real person. Nike doesn't share. I don't even know what the face of the CEO of Nike looks like. Nike's not sharing with us like what they're feeling, like what's going on with their family. They're showing us, right, like a vibe, a feeling through different things. If you even look at like there's this awesome butter that I love to use. It's the vegan butter, but it tastes so delicious. I think it tastes the best. It's like it has no dairy in it. And even with their content, they're always sharing like recipes and things. I know the face of the owner, but I don't see her sharing her family or anything about her. I don't know nothing about her. Okay. I just know she's the owner and her mission behind her brand. And she's pretty successful, vegan butter company. And I'm sharing this because sometimes we think, well, it's so easy for you to say because, like I want to be vulnerable, I want to be real, but how do I show up when life is happening? And being consistent is what's going to help you win in business. And it's what's going to bring in the opportunities when you're on top of mind with other people. And last year, honestly, was the hardest year of my life so far. And I hope I never have nothing like that ever happen to me again. And it was so hard to show up because although for some of you, oh, Celeste, you're doing amazing. You show up, you do all this stuff. I got to do it with Pinterest. I released my Pinterest course, and so many beautiful things happened. Last year, I got different publishings and all this stuff, which happened organically. I didn't pay for that stuff. It was hard to show up for me. And I think one of you, at least one of you, my listeners, needs to hear this. It was so hard to show up and feel authentic when I was in so much pain in the background, right? And so many other things happening in the background. But I'm here to share with you that you can still show up in your own form. During that period, maybe I wasn't showing up like I wanted to. I was showing up maybe just once a week. That's all I could do, and I was fine with that. My business didn't break. I didn't lose customers. Opportunities didn't fly me by. I still was able to grow and evolve in my business because that's all I could do. I was being consistent the way I could at that time in my life. So if you're going through a hard time right now in your life and you're like, man, it's really hard to be consistent, choose what consistency is for you. For me, it was showing up once a week. Once I felt a little better, I did an experiment, and I invite you, be the experimenter in your marketing. Marketing is not a set formula like baking a cookie that you use for the rest of your life. Marketing is constantly changing and evolving, just like fashion, just like beauty, right? What was trending last year is no longer trending this year. So really be the experimenter in your own business. So I did an experiment, and I'm going to share with you. I started to think, okay, what would happen if listening to all these people give me all this advice, right? What would happen if I posted every single day for 30 days and included 3 stories on my Instagram story? What's going to happen to my account? And so I decided to do the experiment, and this is what I found out with my account. I invite you to do experiments like this in your own marketing with your own accounts. The interesting part is I lost 60 followers when I did that. I lost a lot of engagement. I lost a lot of views on my stuff, and I also got burned out from doing that. But it was an experiment, and I wanted to see what would come out of it. And I realized that more is not always more. It's about the value that we give, right? And behind every post that you share, behind every picture that you share, behind every video that you share, people can really feel your energy, right? So um, I saw this awesome review from somebody, and this is the part I wanted to share with you because it brings everything into the big point that I can feel your energy and just smile, through your podcast. And that's what I mean. Everything we put out, everything on social, on your website, everything that you do, when people contact you, when you email somebody back, when you text somebody or call them, people can feel your energy. And in 2023, information is everywhere. So it's so important that you decide, what does consistency mean for you? What do you promise yourself to be consistent with? And allow yourself to change, right? Just like I shared with you, showing up once a week was all I could do, and it worked. Nothing broke. And then I did my experiment of showing up every day, and how that was broken. That did not work well for me, and it caused me to burn out and lose a lot of my creativity. That's the lesson that I've learned. But if we're not willing to experiment, we're not going to be willing to learn from our failures, because I failed too. I'm putting my hands up too. And so it's so important that, especially in 2023, please showcase your personality. Be authentic. Be who you are. Showcase, the human being that you are, with boundaries. You're able to do that and still be authentic. That's not a bad thing. And I loved that class because this person happens to have over 100,000 followers. She is like speaking on stages. She's a really big name. And she was being true about that, like the importance of us being real and vulnerable and feeling our feelings, but that we don't have to share that on social or with everybody. We get to choose who we share that. We get to still be real, still be a human, without oversharing. So don't be scared of being on social, whether showing up on video, because you're scared of how others will perceive you, or if you're not consistent, like the pros say to be consistent. Just promise yourself on what consistency means to you. Having been doing videos for over the past, started doing little short videos in 2016, but doing live videos for the last couple of years, it has really taught me that consistency is what really helps. Like the more that you do something, right, just like in your beauty business, the more comfortable that you get with it. So choose this year rather than the goals and beating yourself up because, man, I was supposed to have X amount of, people on my email list and I didn't meet that goal. Instead, be like, okay, how can I show up more consistently to grow? And I hope this was so helpful, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, love.